I've lived in the mountains all my life. About, well, and just say 79 years I've been living in the mountains. And it'll be 80 years in next month coming, the 25th. I'll be living in the mountains 90 years, 80 years. When I was growing up, there wasn't much work that a body could get a hold of. They just had to make it the best way they could. Times was awful hard back then. I wasn't on a farm a whole lot. I just, wherever I could hear of a day's work, I'd try to get it. And people got to find it out, and I'd haul out to them. They liked my work and all like that. I'd get my day's work. I'd just take it home and give it to my daddy and mother for a long time.
Now.
And I never was a bit lazy. If anybody heard me do a day's work and actually worked me one day, they always want me another. And I worked for 50 cents a day a long time. All farmers would pay. But after I got up old enough to get out and hunt work, I made it pretty good. In 1923, I married. And I raised 2 boys. They never one know what it took to make a chore. They didn't like it, don't reckon. It's just what a buddy likes.
You know who I was?
Down the river here, a store man wanted me to make him a bunch of chores, and he'd take them and put them in the store and sell them. And I made something, I guess I must have made him 100. And I took a notion I wouldn't make them no more. Other people wanted them. And I just quit him and made for other people. He'd sell them so high, they'd go there and anybody was there and wanted a chair, he'd have such a high price on them, and I sold them pretty reasonable. And they'd come and buy them off of me all the time. I was selling these big rocking chairs back then, $5. Yeah. And what's called a The straight back chair, I was getting 2 1/4 for them. And these your stool, I made them for $2. And these your little small rocking chairs, I made them for $2.
Hurry!
Stop. I don't know who that was.
I'm gonna get pretty dry on me. But if my lip holds out, I'll get it. That's the way it's done. I believe my foundation's tore open now. That's funny.
I'd heat my water along about 12, heat my barn. And after he hit pour new boiling. It gets dry and I can't use it. It breaks just like a stick. You can take a piece of that bark out there now and break it. And if it is soft, you couldn't break it at all. That's a level around and it won't take so much water.
I'm gonna try something I never did before.
I started working a log job when I was about 11 years old. We'd cut trees sometimes. They'd be so high I couldn't reach the saw to saw. My dad'd take jobs getting up timber like that. And he wouldn't hire nobody, he'd take me. There wasn't nothing like a sawmill around here. They'd wait to come a rise in the river. And they'd dump them logs in that river and make rafts out of them. Put a great big lot of them together. My daddy made a bit of trip on one.
Now I'll pick up another and follow right along in front of that. It looks awful gnarly. It don't look like I can look out of it. Now I'm coming.
get that much of it. That must have went down. Yep. That looks pretty good. This time I was married, had a wooden fireplace. I'd burn wood, go to the hills and cut wood, logs and haul them in. And I burnt wood over winter time. And I had a house, the way my house was built, I just had 2 rooms and I had electric lights. And one end of that house, I had a wood yard right about the center of the house. And that light through the window would give light out in the wood yard. And I kept my wood over more than 4 daylight. And I wouldn't have to get none through the daytime. I'd get up about all the way from 15 to 2 and 2 o'clock and about 15 after, and sometimes I'd sleep till 3 o'clock, but I hardly ever did. 40 minutes sleep, and I've been about. It ain't gonna be too hard to pull the pole. Oh, torn up. Yeah, I'm about to get you. Seems like it's gonna fit pretty good. I believe that's okay. Now that looks like a rocking chair. I get the bottom in it. I believe it'll be all right. That's a good looking shirt. I did put it together. That's, I believe that'll just about do. Is I go through there and raising these up and taking them down, drawing them up, make them tight. I cut my finger. Can't keep the blood out of the way. Can't hurt me, but it's bleeding a whole lot. People see my work, they'll inquire who it is, and they'll finally find me. They travel a long way to get one of them. But I tell you the truth, I just can't make them all right now. I'm just gonna make it as long as I can work at it and then make what I make, and then if I don't make it, I make. It takes a hard day's work to fix one red city in. I like to work at the church. I'm here by myself, and I can get me a chair pattern and sit here all day if I want to. And guess the way I worked at it, if I didn't like it, I'd quit. A whole lot of times I was too hard at it. I've been tired at it long when I first started in, but now it don't bother me a bit if I ain't working on one I ain't satisfied.
Well, I've got it.
I'll sit down and listen and try it, see how it rocks, and it ought to last a long time. I've got chairs that I made about 40 years ago. I like 20 a year being 100, and when I get 100, I'm going to retire and rest up about a week or two and try it again.